and welcome to my studio. I've never done a video like this before, so this could be absolute rubbish, or it could be great, or no, it's going to be rubbish. But yesterday I was doing a video interview with a lovely Italian engineer and music producer guy who's based in Berlin called let's see if I get this right, pronounce this right, Alberto, I've written it down, Schettino or Schettino. Apologies, Alberto, for getting your surname wrong at least once there, possibly twice. And so I was using my new camera, which I fixed on my PC monitor, and I thought, well, I'm bored, I'm trapped in my house because there's a deadly pandemic. I'll make a little video about what is going on with The Unfinished, what I've been up to, because I've been a bit quiet for almost 6 months now, I think. Is it 6 months? Something like that. I last released something in November, which was Drumstruck 5, so it's been a while. Yeah. So I thought I'd just do a little video talking through things I've been up to, why I haven't released anything, what I'm going to be releasing soon, that kind of thing. It could be terrible, it could be interesting. We just don't know until we try, do we? No. Okay. So let me fill you in on why I haven't released anything since November. Originally, the plan was to have a little bit of a break because I've been making synth sounds quite solidly for 7 or 8 years now. That all fell completely apart because work kept turning up in my inbox. So I've done quite a few bespoke projects. I've worked on a Swedish TV series with a couple of really cool Swedish composers, Klas and Anders. That's called Cryptids. I haven't seen anything of it yet, but it's supposed to be a sort of cross between teen drama and sort of monstery stuff. I don't know, maybe it's a sort of Swedish update of something like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, something like that. I don't know, but that was good fun because I got to do some Nordic noir sort of stuff again, but with some spooky horror vibes, which was cool. And then I've also been working on The Crown with Martin Phipps, a wonderful, wonderful composer who first came to my attention when he did the soundtrack to the British version of Wallander with Kenneth Branagh, which, wow, that must be nearly 10 years old now, mustn't it? One of my favourite all-time series, I absolutely love it. And the music was terrific for it, so it was really great to be able to work with someone who I admire that much. Basically just making some interesting sounds for him to use in The Crown. Obviously nothing too synthy, stuff that could just sit nicely alongside fairly traditional orchestration rather than doing anything massive and overwhelming. Because I think I originally was working with him on Series 3, which is set in the 60s? Late 60s, early 70s? I must admit, I haven't really been following the programme because I don't have Amazon Prime. Yeah, so he had to come up with sounds that didn't sort of stand out too much. They had to be quite organic and to not make the music seem out of place. So that was quite a fun challenge. And then the thing that kind of turned up, I was planning to have the whole of Christmas off, just have a nice little relaxing Christmas with the family. And then I got a surprise email followed by a surprise phone call to work on the new Bond film. Yes, so I was getting all excited a couple of weeks ago about being able to pronounce and announce on social media that I've been working on Bond with Hans Zimmer, and then coronavirus comes along and the film gets delayed and the rug is swept out from underneath me and I haven't mentioned it at all. And I thought, since I'm doing this video, I'd give it a brief mention here. I've signed various documents that mean I can't go into a lot of detail about what I did. Sorry, I've got no interesting secrets and juice to give you here. But yes, Hans invited me alongside a couple of other guys to create some synth sounds for him to use on the score to No Time to Die. So I've been working on that since, was it sort of end of November, beginning of December, I think, up until the end of February. It was wonderful. It was an absolutely brilliant job to be working on. Hans is a super great guy, and his team are amazingly good fun to work with. So, yeah, I got my first taste of Air Studios as well. People there are lovely too. That was really cool. Got to sit in the little console mixing desk box thingy, whatever they call it, and listen to some riotous brass sounds being thundered out. So all good fun. A really lovely bunch of people to work with. Hopefully, you'll really enjoy what we've done on the score, and I think it's terrific. And really looking forward to that coming out November now, isn't it? So there we go. So that's what's kept me busy, and that's why I haven't been releasing any new sound sets. And then obviously coronavirus came along, and I've been feeling a bit unmotivated since then, if I'm honest. Actually, I've been unmotivated to write music more than anything. Doing the synth programming stuff's actually been fine. But it has thrown a lot of plans up in the air, both work and sort of family stuff. In February, just after I'd wrapped on working on Bond, I was supposed to be flying out to Stockholm because my wife and I had made the decision that we were actually going to go for it. We were going to move this year. And the storms that we had in the middle of February grounded my flight, so I couldn't go. And then the only other flight they could put me on was one that meant I arrived at Arlanda Airport in Stockholm at a point where I couldn't actually get into Stockholm from the airport because there was going to be no transport links to get me there. So I had to back out of that. And by the time a new flight had come around, all the plans, all the appointments I'd made in Stockholm to meet with estate agents and schools and some composer friends and stuff, all too late, couldn't do it. And so that didn't happen. But we then had a follow-up plan to have a family holiday, go Airbnb it somewhere in Stockholm over the Easter holiday, which is now, obviously not travelling anywhere now because the idea of getting on a plane is fairly terrifying right now. And yeah, just non-essential travel really, isn't it? Getting on a plane and going to Stockholm at this point. So it looks like that whole plan is going to have to be put back probably an entire year now, all because of the pandemic. And I know that's like, you know, there are more serious things happening because of this disease than me not getting to move abroad. But it hasn't forced us to change completely what we're doing this year. And that's also applied for all my work stuff as well. So what was different about working on The Crown and No Time to Die was that as well as doing synth programming, I was actually doing track augmentation production. So they were sending me cues from the projects, and I was using my sounds to add elements to them for them to either incorporate or just hear the sounds in situ and see how that went. So that was something new that I hadn't done before, and I really enjoyed. And I thought, right, let's step that up in 2020. But I don't know. It feels at the moment like changing what I do. This is the wrong year to do it, basically. So whilst I was looking to slightly aggressively pursue doing more of that, now I'm thinking of basically taking a little bit of a step back with the bespoke stuff. Just concentrate on the core, the unfinished things, and keeping the release schedule ticking over because I haven't released anything since November. Yeah, and I had other plans. I was going to sort of try and work on an album and get remix projects done, but it all I don't know, mentally I feel like things have changed. So in the sort of the lockdown period, we're about 2.5 weeks into the lockdown here in the UK at the moment, and I have felt fairly unmotivated to write new music, but synth programming I'm still doing and still enjoying, so it makes sense to, at least for now, to concentrate on that until, you know, world situation changes or becomes clearer. in some way. Yes. So that's what I've kind of decided to do. So knocking a lot of the plans that I originally had for 2020 on the head and just carrying on doing what I'm already doing, just ticking along, taking it easy, because as much as having a worldwide pandemic is, I don't know, I say worldwide pandemic, there isn't any other kind of pandemic, isn't there? You don't have a local pandemic. As much as it is a terrible threat to people's physical health, I think also we have to acknowledge the damage that it does to our mental health as well. Being stuck in a house with 2 kids, they're lovely, can be difficult. And, you know, I do get annoyed when I see all these social media posts about saying, oh, why don't you learn a language? Why don't you learn to dance? Become a chef? Circumnavigate the globe inside your head? Build a space shuttle? I think it's okay for you just to spend the next few months existing and doing as little as possible just to stay healthy, survive, and look after yourself and your loved ones. I think that's okay if that's all you manage to do. I know, obviously, that's easy for me to say because, you know, I have a nice job and a nice house and a business that, you know, does quite well, and a lot of people are struggling more than I am. But, you know, just look after yourself. Don't ever forget to look after yourself. It's important because, you know, you can't work hard if you are suffering mentally and physically. You can't. So what am I doing now then? So having abandoned all my plans. So as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I did a little interview with Alberto yesterday. And what we spoke a lot about was my next release, which is Humankind. For those of you that don't know what that is, it's a collection of sound sets for various synths where half the proceeds go to charity. Previous 2 times that I've released Humankind, the money has gone to Oxfam. This time I've decided to change the charity to the Trussell Trust, which is basically a British organisation that run what we call food banks here, which are basically places that the poorest and most vulnerable people in society can go and make sure that they have food, they have necessary household goods to stay well and stay clean, that kind of thing. I mean, it seems ridiculous that in a country as rich and advanced as Britain, that there are people living in poverty, but there are. That's the situation. And, you know, coronavirus issues are going to hit them harder than anyone else. So I thought the Trussell Trust was a good charity to focus on for this particular project. So Humankind, originally released in 2013, I think. There were 4 sound sets for Absinthe, Massive, Omnisphere, and Trillion. And it was very popular. People really enjoyed it, and that was good fun, and made quite a bit of money. That was for charity. That was excellent. Then I did it again in 2015, where I re-released the original 4, and then I did 4 new ones for Bazille, Diva, Zebra 2, and Zebra HZ, the Dark Zebra. So all those 8 are getting re-released again this time. Plus I've done 4 new ones. I've done Uno LX, The Legend, Repro 1 and Repro 5. So there are now 12 sound sets, all have 64 presets in them. So that's a total of 768 patches that you can potentially add to your arsenal. At the same time as helping out a really important charity, so I think that's cool. I did the 4 new sound sets because, you know, there were going to be people that probably wanted to take part and buy something and help raise money, but they may have already bought all the ones that they can from the first 8 that were released. So 4 new ones. I think a lot of people have Repro. Most people have Uno LX. If you don't have Uno LX, but you want to get it now, I'm still doing a thing where I can give you a code for 20% off the synth from the Togu Audio Line website. So if you want to contribute and think Uno LX, it's quite cheap. It's a really good Juno emulation, but I don't have it. I can get you 20% off the price of it if you want. Yeah, The Legend. I don't know how many people have got it. I didn't have it until I worked on the Bond film. Actually, Hans Zimmer recommended it to me. So that was nice. Because yeah, it was used on the film a little bit. Yeah, and it's a really nice Moog emulation. It sounds great. It's really good for bass. Yeah, I like it. And this is my first foray into designing sounds for it. Similarly with Repro 5, actually, I haven't released anything for that before. So that's what's coming up next. That will be released on, I think, April the 24th. I think that's the last Friday in April. So I've got demo tracks coming in that are all really cool. I've done all the artwork and stuff, uploaded to my website and stuff, waiting to go live. So yes, that's coming soon. I've got to do the walkthrough videos, which I'm going to probably kick off at some point today. And then after that, because I haven't released anything for ages, I'm going to have a nice steady release schedule until the end of the year. So almost dogs fighting. After that is almost certainly going to be Omnisphere Colossus 4. So continuing my Colossus series for Omnisphere, which is basically just aiming at good action and underscore Hollywood cinematic style sounds in the vein of Harry Gregson Williams, John Powell, Henry Jackman, that kind of thing. And then after that, I'm going to be releasing Repro 1 Substrata, which is a sound set I originally was going to release at the beginning of this year, but ended up working on the Bond thing instead. I keep mentioning that. It sounds like I'm name dropping, but it does keep... It did basically take up 3 months of my life almost. Yes, so that will be coming out. I've already got demo tracks for that and done all the artwork and even the promo video for it, so that's good to go. Then Zebra stuff. I've got loads and loads of Zebra sounds to release. I've been making tons of Zebra sounds for months now, and I really need to start releasing some. So I'm doing sort of follow-up sound sets with Zebra. So I've got 2 new Nordsund releases to come. Nordsund Dusk. Dusk. Who says Dusk? Try Dusk. You can pronounce it Dusk if you want. I don't care. Nordsund Dusk. I can't say it now. I've been locked up too long. And Nordsund Snow. They're going to be the 2 new Nordsund releases. And then I'm also going to do 2 new Lazarus releases, Volume 3 and Volume 4. A lot easier to say, a lot less complicated. So that's going to be my Zebra releases this year. And then I'm going to probably do another Omnisphere release, which is also going to be a follow-up. So it's going to be either Amara 2 or Pangea 2. I haven't decided which one yet. You can put your quest claim in underneath this video. You can say which one you want to see released first. I might not pay any attention to what you say. I might just release what I like anyway. I'll probably release whichever one that gets finished first, probably. And then I think probably at the end of the year, I'm going to have one final slot open, which is either going to be a new Diva Phenom release, or it might be my first sound set for either Hive or Serum. I've got sound sets probably about halfway through completion on both of those. So it might be quite nice to do a new sound set and maybe save Diva Phenom for next year. But again, comment underneath this video if you have an opinion on which one you'd like to see. Always interested. Yes, so that's what I've been doing. I've also been making... I've kind of retreated into a kind of synth pop shell during this sort of lockdown period. I've been making a bunch of sounds in Zebra, emulating some of my favourite sounds from early 80s synth pop tracks, stuff like, Human League, Depeche Mode, OMD, Ultravox, Yazoo, Soft Cell, that kind of thing. I don't know why I've been doing it. There's no room on my release schedule for it, but I've just been doing it. and it's been quite fun. I've got some really, really, really quite spot on emulations, and some are much trickier. And I've also been doing a load of more sort of not generic, but more familiar, non-specific, non-emulation sounds. So Juno stuff, Oberheim stuff, Jupiter stuff, even some Fairlight and Emulator 2 style sounds, which have been quite fun. Made loads of them. I don't know what I'm going to do with them exactly. But I've also been thinking of doing like a little synth pop radio show style podcast thing where I play a few of my favourite synth pop tracks and stuff like that. Just something for me to do that's fun and isn't work, but is still about music because I love music so much. And yes, so I basically retreated to my childhood. I think that's what I've done. It's just I've kind of curled up into a metaphorical mental fetal ball and reduced myself to my earliest childhood music memories. I don't know. Maybe that's more worrying than I'm appreciating. Who can say? But those are my plans for the rest of this year. So yeah, it's that, and obviously look after my lovely family, who are keeping me sane. Fortunately, being locked in a house with them for 2.5 weeks isn't too bad because they're very lovely people. My kids are definitely keeping me sane. They, yeah, having children to look after, it really helps in this sort of scenario, I find. Even though they drive you mad, they also keep you grounded and they entertain you a lot, which is quite nice. But I can always run and hide here and lock myself away in the attic studio so no one can find me or ask me silly questions. So I think that's everything I wanted to mention. I hope this has been in some way either informative, interesting, or useful verbal wallpaper whilst you're doing something that's far more important in your own lives. This is my studio. I don't know how much of it's showing up on the screen, but beautiful synthesizers over there. My wall chart whiteboard at the back, which I've had to scrub a few things out of so you couldn't accidentally read them in the background because they're top secret. My lovely orange sofa there, which I occasionally sit on. But mainly I sit here looking at my screen. But it's quite nice. Is there anything else in here? Probably can't see my big rack of stuff there. There's a Moog D-Fam and a Tintin rocket at the back. Yes, that's it really. Maybe I'll do a little tour video of my studio at some point. Show you what I've got, all the stuff that's locked away. There's a big pile of boxes with synths and drum machines and various bits of equipment all stacked up over there. Yeah, that's it. Okay, I'm probably getting boring now. Thanks if you've watched. If you've got this far, what is wrong with you? If you have liked this, give it a like and comment underneath saying, yeah, that wasn't too painful. That was okay. Maybe I'd like to see more. Not often, but, occasionally. Okay, well, thank you very much. I shall sign off now. Thanks for watching, and I hope you're safe and well. Stay that way, and let's get through 2020. 2020. Let's go. Mad, sitting at my computer, talking rubbish. Yeah, been here too long. Okay, that'll do. Bye.